Hello and welcome to this NetDocuments training video. Today we are going to be discussing ndOffice. We will actually discuss this concept in two videos. This will be the first of those two videos. And today what we're going to be talking to you about is an overview of how ndOffice allows us to save documents, allows us to open documents, and how it controls the communications or notifications from NetDocuments, and also tends to serve as your local backup or echo folder. As we begin, what you'll see is that on my screen I have this documentation that shows us how ndOffice, which almost acts like a bridge or a connector between your local computer and the WorldDocs Cloud environment. So any application such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF documents all operate on your local computer's profile, and those documents are transferred back and forth via the ndOffice application to the web interface or the cloud environment. What we will do now is we will actually demonstrate how you can save documents in Microsoft Word and how that is mainly controlled via the ndOffice application. Here we have a Word document. This is a brand new Word document. What you'll see in the title of the document, it just says Document 1. It doesn't actually have a real name or a document ID. Those are the items that really identify for us the fact that that document has been created or saved within NetDocuments. So now that I've added some text to my document, what I'm going to go ahead and do is come up here to my Save As function because I'm saving it into NetDocuments. This display that we currently see before us, where it basically it shows us this ND Save dialog box, this is controlled by ndOffice. Moreover, our ndOffice application is what controls what locations or document selections we are presented with within this process. To demonstrate this further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my little ndOffice activity window, and I'm going to click on my gear icon. Underneath my settings, what we're going to see is I bring over my Office settings here. What we have is the navigation tab. Inside the navigation tab, what you'll see is the default that we always see is the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Adobe access locations. And something I want to point out to you, in my settings, what we'll see in my settings is underneath my save settings, we see that recent locations are turned on for my Save As options. That's how we see it displayed here. In addition to that, just to talk to you a little bit further about this, if I came over and did a File, Open, ndOpen, what you'll also see is it's prompting me for my recent locations. And that is because, again, over here on our display control menu, we see that Open is indicated as the recent locations option for our Microsoft Word. So again, ndOffice really controls this interaction between documents. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back here to our Save As option. We're going to select one of our client matters here. I'm selecting this City of Liquid Steel. What you'll see is that since I selected that client matter, I just need to give my document a document type. We'll just go ahead and say this is a discovery document, and for our example we're going to say that this is our test demo document. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now once I've hit save and the system profiles that document, what we see up here is not only do we see our document name, but we also see our 12-digit document ID number indicating that that save was successful within NetDocuments. The next item we're going to be talking about is taking our existing document here and going ahead and saving a second version. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save As here. You'll see that the minute I hit Save As on an existing document, I now have the option to basically just go ahead and hit Save As again. and that will create a new version because this checkbox is automatically selected. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and once I've done so, I've created a V2 of our original document. And again, just to repeat that process, I'm just going to hit save as. Basically, my checkbox for save as new version is indicated. Go ahead and hit save one more time, and now I have a V3 or version 3 of our current document. Now the next item I would like to show you is if I would like to show you an example of creating a brand new template from this document. Again, since we're making a change from this current document, we're going to go ahead and click on our Save As button. And in this example, what we're going to do is we are going to unselect the Save As New version. What this gives me the ability to do is completely change the document name, completely change the document location. So what I can do now is basically, let's just say that this is the test demo doc number 2, and we're going to keep it in its current location, but in this example, we're just going to go ahead and change the document type. I'm going to just make this one correspondence for demo purposes. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and what I want to point out to you is we have a brand new document name, and more importantly, a brand new document number, because we have created a brand new template based on our original. So the next thing, what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to open up a version of that first document that we created together. So to do that, again, I'm going to come over here to my File, Open, ndOpen, and once I get my open interface here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is select my client matter that I was on. Again, it's already selected for me because I'm in my recent locations. And our last document that we were working on was inside of that discovery cabinet. So here is my test demo discovery, and what you'll see is as I select that document, you'll see there are 3 different versions of that document. So if I wanted to open up, let's say version 2, for example, I would just select version 2, go ahead and select my open button, and now I'm launching the version 2 of my original document. So here it is. So again, opening a version is really just as simple as you coming in, doing an open, ndOpen, telling the system know what document you want to open. Here's our test document, and then once again selecting that version you would like to open. So now you'll see that I've now opened up the version 1 of our original document that we started with. The next thing I would like to demonstrate for you is how to compare some of these versions against each other. So I'm going to come over here to my Review tab, and you'll see here there is an option for ndCompare. Now something to point out to you is that the only difference between a regular compare and ndCompare is that ndCompare gives us direct access to the cloud to pull documents in, versus compare just allows us to select local documents. So again, with ndCompare we can select not only cloud documents, but we can also select local documents. But for my example, I'm just selecting ndCompare, and you'll see that it always selects the current document you have open as your original document. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select the ND button here in the revised document section. And I'm going to go ahead and pull in one of our existing documents that we worked on together. And let's say that I want to compare version 2 of our existing open document against each other. I would just simply go ahead and select that version, select the open function, and now I have my document selected, and I just need to select OK to go ahead and run that comparison. Now something to point out to you is when we are presented with this document, which is a new document, we have a compared result number 2, we have a couple different options in which we can basically work with this document. So the first one is you'll see here the Save As attachment. So I don't especially love this option because I'm literally going to create this document as an attachment to the original document. I don't necessarily love attachments myself. I like standalone documents, but if an attachment will work for you, you can see that this function is pretty helpful. It actually takes your original document, lets you know where it's going to be saving that comparison, allows you to, it lets you know what the file name of this comparison is going to be. So again, if If you want to say this was the ndOffice comparison of the test demo doc, you'd want to indicate that here in your file name, because again, we are creating a new file just as an attachment. And again, this is our description letting us know what they were comparing. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the Save button, and in doing so, I've created a brand new attachment, which is that ndOffice comparison test document. Now, something else that we can go ahead and do is, let's just say in that same example that when you ran your comparison, you actually wanted to save it as a standalone document. You're just going to follow that process we looked at before, which is use the Save As button. Except in this case, I'm not going to select this existing document because I don't want to create a new version. What I want to tell the system is where I want to save this new document we're going to save. So I'm going to indicate the client matter. Once selected, I'm going to come in here and select my document once again. We'll go ahead and give it a discovery doc. And this will be the ndOffice comparison, and we're going to call it the standalone document. Go ahead and hit save here, and what you're going to see is that we've renamed and created a brand new standalone document. So again, that is all controlled. All of these options that we're currently seeing, those open and save as functions, are all controlled by the exact same interface. And again, that interface is the ndOffice program. Now, something else I would like to point out to you is that when you select your ndOffice icon that operates in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you're going to see these documents. The system, this is what we call your local echo folder. So what the system does is it keeps a local copy of all the documents you're interacting with, just in case there is some sort of a connection hiccup. And what that allows you to do in the event there is a connection hiccup, the minute the system sees that there is a good internet connection, it will just resave all of those documents to their desired locations within the web interface. And again, with this opening and closing of documents, what we're working towards is that example in which we can go ahead and come into the user interface in the event that we need to see all of these documents that we're working with, and basically come into that location where we were opening and saving those various documents, and basically be able to find them inside this particular client matter. So what we see is we're inside of our client matter, and what we're seeing indicated here is that we still have that ND comparison open standalone document that we had created, but also here are those documents that we had. Here's that test document with those 3 versions that we had created. And if I select the V3 or the version number, here are those 3 documents that I can most certainly go ahead and select any one of these documents that I might want to actually work on. Just simply by clicking on the name, I'm going to go ahead and launch or open up that document inside the system. So here's our version 1 document as we have it open. So again, all of this is controlled by our ndOffice program that runs in the bottom right hand corner of your system. Thank you very much for your time.